So here's how to explain the TikTok ban to people who aren't on TikTok. And I'm doing this in a parking lot while that one naps. Picture a mall, a shopping mall, not the current kind we have right now, but the ones that were at their peak back in the 80s and in the 90s, like the Metro Center Mall here in Jackson used to be. It's just packed full of people, there's never an empty shopping space, and there are new things in there every day. This is TikTok, and their version of a mall is even better than anything we saw in the 80s and the 90s. Anyone can open up a store here, and the first-timers from the local area get as much attention and foot traffic as the large anchor stores like the Sears and the JCPenney's. Inside, there was a feast of possibilities, and stores weren't judged by if they had a name of a chain brand or how big their marketing budget was, but by the quality of what they sold. Now, of course, not everybody in this mall is making a living with a store. Some are there just to shop. Others are there just to hang out with like-minded people. But anybody that wants a store can open one. Maybe their store is providing political analysis. Maybe it's providing information on your favorite sports team. Maybe it's providing interesting and entertaining insight into your home state. And very few of them may be making a full living off of any of this, but maybe they're making enough just to pay off a utility bill or pay a tuition check each month. Because of all this particular mall is getting very popular. People are flocking inside, and the place is getting bigger and better with every person that comes in. But outside the TikTok mall, it's a very different story. On one side is a more traditional modern mall with all the negatives. It has more empty shops than it does have full shops. Everything is a chain. There's nothing local. The selection is very slim, and the only people in there just kind of wander in and out. It's never packed. On the other side of the successful mall is your typical strip mall. It's owned by a millionaire, and it rents out space to giant stores owned by billionaires. And it's all spread out. You have to walk the equivalent of like 3 city blocks just to get to the entrance of each store. And once you get there, the workers don't really want to be there, the prices are too high, and the selection and quality is slim. And just like the other one, nothing is local. On the contrary, 90% of what you find inside is just something that was shipped over from overseas. It's either a cheap knockoff or it's just downright fake. And if you try to complain to anyone about this, no one ever responds. Ever. Needless to say, the two malls on either side are losing customers by the day. They're watching money just flow into that more successful model. But rather than ask what that successful model is doing right, they instead sit back seething in anger and try to come up with a way to just put it out of business. If it shuts down, they reason, people will just come back to their lower quality alternatives because, well, there's no other choice. All those small businesses inside that successful model, well, they're all going to be going out of business as soon as that place closes. They're going to lose income. They're going to lose health care. Some families may even lose homes. And all of them are going to lose years and years of hard work that they poured into those stores. But the competitors on either side, they don't really care about this. The only thing they're looking at is their bottom line. So the leaders of those failing malls, they go to the city council, the members of which have spent very little time, if any, inside of that successful mall, and they have no idea what's really going on in there. And they lobby every complaint they can think of. It's not safe because it's too crowded. They're costing people jobs because they're putting bigger businesses out of business. They complain that the people in the food court are saying nasty things about the city council members as they eat their pretzels and drink their fruit smoothies. Now, several of the city council members, they've never been inside that mall. They outgrew that type of thing decades ago, so they just take the complaints at face value. Others have been inside the mall, but they also have investments in those outside companies, and they don't want to see those fail. And then others see it as a threat to their power when all those people are getting together and talking about the way things ought to be. In other words, that place has been a threat to their pocketbooks and to their power for some time now, and they've just been waiting for the right reason to shut it down. So, they don't investigate. They don't talk to the people who go into that mall day in and day out. They don't talk to the shop owners. They don't go into the mall themselves and look around. Instead, they take the word of the folks who are making the complaints, the folks with the giant checkbooks. And they look around that little room and they all agree that their lives will be a whole lot better if that successful mall goes away. And so they use everything in their power to make that happen, including every connection they have on the police force and in the courts. Now, naturally, all the people who have worked for years to build those shops inside that mall, when they hear the news that this place is being closed down, they are rightfully angry. They're frustrated, they're depressed, they're scared about what this means for their future. And more than anything, they're feeling ignored and forgotten by the people that they elected to make decisions for them. And to make things worse, whenever they express these feelings to people who haven't had a chance to go inside the mall themselves, they get the response of, "What? Why does that matter? It's just a mall. There's dozens of other ones. Just go to one of those." That is the story of TikTok. That is why so many people who are invested in this app have such strong feelings about it going away. In other words, it is so much more than just another app, and I wouldn't expect any of us to just get over it anytime soon.